Well, for me, conservation only works if people can sort of feel it and touch it. And we can look at the ocean. 99% of the planet's space is the ocean. It seems hard to believe. We look at the surface because it's a third and two-thirds. But when we three-dimensional, it really is 99% space on the planet.
I remember seeing on one programme like a 3D representation of what the planet looked like without water.
Yes.
It looked like some science fiction nightmare.
It's a very big, deep place, and it's the largest, least understood, least protected ecosystem on the planet. And so when we look at something like Project Aware with their lovely lines, saving the ocean one dive at a time, it makes sense because we're at the front line. We're at the front line of conservation every time we dive. And for me, because as a young lad, when that geography teacher took me and me Herbert mates to the Brecon Beacons, that was such a moment for me. I realised I could do things in the outdoors, that I have a big affinity to nature. So therefore conservation issues are very close to me. I support loads of them, and I do everything I can, but particularly anything to do with the ocean. I just support it. I think it's difficult. It's so big, the problems are so vast. The amount of debris going in the ocean is so big we can't even measure it. I did a project for Zurich Museum of Design. We filled it up with plastic, and there's a picture of me standing in front of it, and that's how much goes in the ocean every 15 seconds. And the problem's so big with debris, and the problems like shark finning, where it really is 100 million sharks a year, the numbers are so big, or ocean acidification, how does that, overfishing, the problem seems so big that we can't feel it and touch it sometimes. And I worry that we'll all end up rooted into a state of inaction because the problem's so big. So projects like Project Aware work great for me because it means every single dive you've taken some positive action to make a difference.
And have you, in your travels, have you seen anything that makes you think, God, there is no way back?
I've seen some horrific things. It used to be a little bit of a throwaway line for me. What's happened since you've learned to dive in 1969? In all them years, what's changed? And I always say is less fish and more plastic. And that's very true. There's definitely a lot less fish, and there's definitely a lot more plastic, and that's just not British waters or the Mediterranean. That's all over the world, and it's a horrifying sight to see that. And there's, we all get horrified when we see ghost nets fishing.
Yes.
Horrible things. And you can even go to a commercial fishing port in Britain and see people, throwing plastic bottles in the water. And people just do it because they forget that it all goes somewhere. And it goes out, and a lot of us know about the Pacific Ocean Gyre. The ocean all sort of connects, and the way that the gyre sort of conspires to bring it all together, then we can see that. See it in space. It's an enormous, great feature. But it's very hard to think that one little bottle blows off the hard on a beach dive or something actually contributes to it.
Yeah.
So it's a horrible business. Yeah. And then I've worked on. I did a project for BBC Inside Out on the marine debris, and every single bird that I cut up on the British beaches, cut them up, open them up. Every single bird had stomachs full of plastic.
Yeah.
And you're on those cliffs. I remember being on those cliffs just on the northeast coast, and you look up and it's beautiful seabirds. Fantastic. It sounds amazing, but then you look through the binoculars, and every single nest on these thousands of nests is all made of plastic.
Yeah.
Horrifying. So these things they're painful events.
Okay, so obviously you've got your on a completely other subject. You've got your National Geographic stuff coming up. Is there anything else on the horizon, or is that enough keeping you busy?
Yeah, that's it. Well, National Geographic stuff's going to keep me busy for a while. That's my priority. I've got some other BBC projects coming along. I've just finished this fracking program, and
Be careful how you say that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, fracking. Jesus. And it took a while, and then I've got some other BBC projects coming up down in the cold places, and another diving project. So, and then I do as much as I can to support organisations like this. I'm out there busy.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, Paul, thank you very much for
Thanks
your
a
time.
lot.
I really appreciate it.